Look, maybe if we just try watching this together, it could help.
I told you before, I'm not comfortable with that.
Are you living with a silent third party in your marriage? One that doesn't argue, doesn't make demands, and is available 24/7. This third party is one of the most destructive forces a relationship can face. I'm talking about pornography. Pornography is silently killing intimacy in many marriages today. It starts innocently, a few clicks, a curious moment, but soon it begins to reshape expectations, desires, and even how you see your spouse. Porn may look harmless, just visuals, just fantasy, but it silently erodes intimacy. It rewires your brain, it pollutes your heart. So stay with me in today's video because in this episode, I'm digging deep into the impact of pornography on married couples. What it does to your mind, what it does to your emotions, and what it ultimately does to your relationship, and what God's perspective is on all of this. Hi, I'm Taiye. I'm a marriage coach and counselor. I help couples move from confusion to clarity, from conflict to connection. Now, before you go ahead, take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Don't wait till the end to do it. Please do it now because by subscribing, you help my channel's growth and you help me to reach more couples who really need critical help for their marriage. All right. So like I said earlier, today's topic is pornography and its impact on marriage. Now, it's one of the topics where many people don't talk about openly, but I do know that it's destroying homes quietly, it's breaking trust, and it's leaving couples deeply dissatisfied on several levels. So, what does pornography really do? What's its impact? It's not just adult entertainment, but I would tell you that it is a teacher. It teaches your brain what to desire. It teaches your body what to respond to. And over time, it rewires your brain. It rewires the way you experience intimacy. Now, this is what the research tells us, what the research shows. Research tells us that pornography activates the same reward centers in the brain as drugs do. Pornography is addictive. The more you watch, the more you need to watch to get the same level of arousal or excitement. Now, eventually, real life intimacy begins to feel less satisfying because your brain has been trained to prefer fantasy. You start comparing your spouse to paid actors on a screen. And without realizing it, you are no longer connecting emotionally with your spouse. You're expecting the same level of performance and you are chasing an illusion. Now, what does porn do to marriages? I will tell you that the damage doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, it's subtle, and it is often secret. The first thing to note is that it creates unrealistic expectations because porn presents fantasy, not reality. And what you watch, bodies are edited, moments are scripted, everything looks effortless. But in marriage, there are moods, there are emotions, there's tiredness, there's real life responsibilities. Now, when expectations don't match, frustration and dissatisfaction set in. The second thing to know is that porn destroys emotional connection. You know, sex in marriage is meant to be an expression of love, vulnerability, and connection. But porn is about performance. It becomes self-centered, self-seeking pleasure, and your spouse stops feeling desired. They start to feel like you are comparing them to what you are seeing on the screen. The third thing to note is that porn invites secrecy and shame. Now, most people watch porn in private, they hide it from their spouses. That's except when a couple have formed the habit of watching it together. But for the partner watching, you start to hide. You start to keep secrets. You're hiding your phone, you're hiding your computer, and you start to feel shame. Eventually, you start withdrawing emotionally. The number four thing to note is that porn can lead to addiction and ultimately infidelity. So for some, what starts as watching leads to chatting, leads to flirting, sometimes even stepping outside of your marriage to seek sexual satisfaction. Now, porn normalizes experimentation out of God's design. And before you know it, emotional and physical infidelity become easier to justify. The fifth thing to note is that porn pollutes the mind. Now, the Bible tells us in Matthew 6:22-23, that the eye is the lamp of the body. Now, if your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. Now, what we feed our eyes affects our heart. Porn clouds judgment. It hardens the conscience. It numbs spiritual sensitivity. Okay, what are the arguments for porn for those who watch it? And why are these arguments flawed? Now, some people will argue, they will tell you that porn spices things up in their marriage. They use it to spice things up. They say that as long as we watch it together, it is harmless, or it's even better than cheating. But this is the truth. Porn does not teach love. It teaches lust. It doesn't foster connection. What it does is that it is feeding consumption and your carnal desires. Porn conditions you to see your spouse as an object of pleasure rather than a person to love and cherish. Then what started as a shared fantasy can now become a private habit, one that isolates rather than unites. Now, I want to bring in the Christian perspective because, as you know, I am Christian. Now, for the Christian, it goes deeper because the Bible is clear on the fact that sex is a profound gift from God, and it is designed exclusively for the covenant of marriage. It is not just a physical act, it's also spiritual. It's tied to covenant. So the issue of pornography isn't just moral, it is also spiritual, because God designed sex to be sacred, a covenant expression of love, unity, and vulnerability between husband and wife. The Bible also tells us in Hebrews 13:4 that marriage should be honored by all and the marriage bed kept pure. Pornography defiles that purity. It brings third parties into your home, even though it's virtually. And Jesus also said in Matthew 5:28, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. That means the battle starts long before any physical act. Pornography is not just about sex. It's about who rules your mind. Is it God or is it your carnal, fleshly desires? Okay, if you or your spouse are struggling with pornography, please know this. You can get out of it. You can heal. Your situation is not hopeless. And here is where to start. The first thing you want to do is acknowledge it honestly. Stop denying it. Stop minimizing its impact. The second thing you want to do is invite your spouse into the conversation. Confess. Confess. Be vulnerable. Confess. The third thing you want to do is to seek accountability and help. Speak to a trusted counselor, a trusted mentor, or a faith-based support group. The fourth thing you want to do is renew your mind. Philippians 4:8 says, whatever is pure, lovely, admirable, think on these things. Renew your mind. The fifth thing you want to do is rebuild intimacy intentionally. Pray together, talk more, laugh more, go out on dates. True intimacy starts long before the bedroom. Very important to know that. All right. So, what are your own thoughts? Is pornography helpful or harmful? I believe that the evidence is overwhelming. It's not a marital aid, it's a marital cancer. It doesn't bring you closer, it creates a wedge, and it erodes intimacy. It doesn't celebrate your spouse, it makes them feel like they are not enough. Pornography promises pleasure, but it delivers pain ultimately. It promises connection, but it eventually creates isolation. It promises excitement, but it kills intimacy. Now, if you are serious about building a strong, joyful, God-honoring marriage, you need to guard your mind and protect your heart. Because true and lasting happiness, peace, and joy cannot be built on a habit of pornography. Now, do you want to access my online course, Pathway to Forever? You can. To do so, click the link in the description. This course will set you on a path to building a solid foundation for your happily ever after love story. And if you or your spouse are struggling with this issue of pornography, I urge you, don't suffer in silence. You can reach out. Counseling and coaching will help you find your way back to freedom and to a true deep connection. Because when you heal your mind, you heal your marriage. Have you enjoyed watching this video? Please don't forget to subscribe, to comment, to share, to leave your own thoughts. What do you think about pornography and its effect on marriage? Don't forget that you can also watch my other videos just by clicking on the playlist in the description. As always, my name is Taiye. God bless you and bye-bye.